Hey, what's going on, guys? G1Xtron here, and today I'm going to bring you the Toys R Us exclusive Hasbro Masterpiece Sunstorm. Now, they do already have a Takar version out there, and it's like $200, and you get the Coronation set, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but I wasn't really ever willing to pay $200 for a non-main character. He's just kind of like one of those side characters that, I guess, built a little bit of popularity just because he's kind of unique, but me personally, no, I'm not going to pay $200 for that. I'd pay $200 for a Skywarp, but not this guy, especially since this is going to be my fourth mold of this guy, this MP-11. But it's still a really cool, nice Seeker. I do like it. Do want to show some of the things that it comes off with. Does get a stand, so no more Coronation set, which I actually prefer. I've got my Coronation set with my Starscream. If I had another one on another Seeker, I think it would just look a little silly and it takes up too much room as it is. But you do get these two little missile pods here, and as you can see, they're painted white. Got a little nice red stripe there. Colored in purple Decepticon logo. You got the Sunstorm there. The stand, which switches out back and forth, so you can have him hover around in his robot mode, or you can display him in his jet mode to where it looks like he's kind of taken off. It's a little difficult for me to put him in that way, so I usually do him in robot mode anyway. Going ahead and moving that to the side, you do also have a little clip. Forget exactly what it's for, but I just put the little dude in here, so it works fine for me. That way I don't lose them. But this time around, you're getting the Dr. Arkeville, to where on Acid Storm, you can see a lot is the same. You get a different color purple on this Decepticon logo. You get the green and the black and the Acid Storm, obviously. But he's got just the regular little pilot. So kind of cool. It's a little bit different. These are some of the accessories I don't ever use, but I will just move that stuff to the side. Right now, focusing in on Sunstorm, and I do have a couple of comparisons, and we'll do comparisons whenever they're in robot mode as well. But if you've never seen the transformation for this figure, or maybe this is your first time, like I got asked yesterday when I picked it up, and they're like, "Do they sell these at Masterpiece at Toys R Us still?" And I was just like, well, maybe they're new to it. So I was just like, yeah, that's where I got this. So anyways, if you haven't seen it, I'm going to do the transformation. It's a little bit stiff on mine, so I left it in robot mode. You'll kind of see that, and I'll go over some things that were not really QC issues. Some of them are, but just things that you're going to have to do, like the fingers came on backwards. You just got to rotate them. But first time seeing this, here you go. This little cockpit area, it opens up. You can put the little dude in there. I'm not going to do it. Close that back up. You get the radar dish here in the nose cone. Here on the sides, these little things. It's part of transformation, but they can, flap back and forth to, I guess, whenever you put them in jet mode and he's like taking off, then you can do something there. These little thrusters, they move around, so you get a little bit of movement there. You take the back section off right here. It's part of the transformation, but these serve as the little engines, if we can focus in there. All right, thanks, camera. So there's just a couple pieces that are actually gold plastic. This back section here, the engines, which will be his back heel spurs, and his head. Oh, there you go. His head. They're actually gold plastic. The rest of it is just painted on gold. And, some people, they're still worried about gold plastic syndrome and stuff like that. It's not a problem anymore. So don't let that, deter you, picking this guy up just because he has some gold plastic, because you don't have to worry about it. It does have a really cool paint job. Let's see if we can catch it in the light right. It just depends on, which way you catch it, to where it makes it's actually paint on there, or maybe it's just a really nice tampograph and it's fooling me, but you can see the flames on there. I'm trying to get it there the best way I can. The Decepticon logos are tampographed on there. And it just kind of starts right here, goes all the way back. I do dig that. I like that. You don't, like my buddy Jane pointed out, you don't have any of the captain or sergeant or anything like that on the side, so it's a little bit plain there. The missiles, you can take these off and you can attach the ones that we had on the stand, but that's the way I like to display the guy. All right, so for a couple comparisons, there we have Sunstorm. I don't have them in like G1 form. Didn't grab this guy's landing gear again, but there he is with a Skywarp G1, so you can kind of get the idea of the design they were going for. Let's fix this camera here. the design they were going for. What is that? F-15? There you go. And also the size as well. And here he is with his buddy Acid Storm. And, you know, Acid Storm was always one of those that I did like, because I thought it was kind of a cool, you know, color combination. I like the digital camo, even though some people didn't like it. But he always just popped on the Masterpiece shelf. Everything else is, you know, just kind of subtle, you know, a lot of reds, a lot of blues, a lot of whites. And then this guy's just like this bright green. Now having him, you know, Sunstorm and Acid Storm side by side, it looks really good together. And it looks like, you know, he's not standing out so much, even though they're both bright colors. So I do dig that. All right, so getting into the transformation. Hopefully we don't run into any problems. It's actually, I just transformed him, but usually don't try to go in an order where I'm explaining stuff. I just kind of go all over the place, but try to do it here. Pull out the landing gear, or we fold up the landing gear. I'm going to pull out these missiles. You can leave these attached, but I'm going to pop them off this ball joint, set them to the side, just because it's a little bit easier for me. I don't like it whenever they get in the way. Sometimes these fall off, and so sometimes if they do, then I'll just take the other one off. Come back here, I unfold these little engine sections, close those up, and come back with the legs. There we go. And fold these up. These will slide up. There we go. Whatever. All right. We'll just take the other one off too. All right, so there we have the legs. Now with this whole section, you're going to need to, oh my goodness, I just clipped my fingernails too. Let's see if I can do it this way. We pop this section, there we go. And it's supposed to grab that. There we go, grab that. It was a little difficult, but that's what you want to do first, and then you can come up with this a little bit easier. Fold these inner wings in right here. This section, it is plugged in there. It's also plugged in this way, and then there's a little tab right there. So you want to kind of bend it down to where you're pulling out, but you're also, you know, not putting a whole lot of stress. So you can see this section here plugs in there, and then that section there will actually plug up under here. So that's what you want to kind of just bend down whenever you're pulling that out. Do the same thing with this one. Pull that out. This kind of gets out of the way. These will flip up. This will flip up too. And you can go ahead and peg them in. The whole reason of pulling those little things down is you have these tabs here on the side, so those will actually plug into the back. They'll probably come undone throughout the transformation, but it's not that big of a deal. For the feet, to complete that, you're going to pull down here, spin this around, do this in here, and there you got your feet. So some nice colors here. You know, at first I didn't like the white where it was, but now it doesn't bother me as much. I like having things, you know, a lot better in hand. That way I can make my, you know, kind of final judgment on it. With the hands, you're going to flip out here on these joints, and this section here is going to separate. Yeah, there's those wings falling down. And this is going to slide down. You can see that there's this joint right here, and there's one here that this kind of just rotates on, so this is just going to slide down, like so. The same thing with this one just swings on over. And just kind of leave some room, because this cockpit section is going to come down here in the middle. Now, I don't know if you can already kind of see, but you see how this arm kind of tilts in? This one does too. They just kind of tilt in. Well, whenever I try to bring down the cockpit and slide it down, there's two little pegs, or not pegs, but these two pieces of plastic that is holding it from coming down all the way. So it's something that I left them in robot mode overnight, just so maybe the, you know, it would weaken that a little bit. So we're going to come down with this section, open the cockpit. Sorry about that. So yeah, come down with that, open the cockpit, push this up. There we go. Come down with that. the head needs to go through this hole. So you have these like two little ears. You can hold those and then just kind of weave it through. Get through there, buddy. All right. And for this section here, you're going to come just like you do with G1. Come through here. Bring this around. And then this tabs into here, if we can get that in there. Makes it a little bit easier sliding that down. All right, and then we bring this section down, and then we come down here. So this is what I was talking about with mine. I don't know if this is going to be a problem on yours or everyone else's, but you see these two chest pieces, how they kind of sink in, and it's stopping that from coming down. I have to... God, yeah. I shouldn't have to do that, especially on a brand new figure, so I'm going to leave it in robot mode. I don't know, maybe for about a week. I did it overnight, and it's not as bad now as it was yesterday when I was messing with it. So I'm going to do it for about a week, see if it maybe kind of loosens up and it's not so tight right there. If not, then maybe I can, if they have another one, I'll exchange it or something like that. But just be aware of that. And we can come down with these hands and rotate there. If you have this figure, let me know if you have the same problems. Alright, so let's dive into the articulation. First off, his head, it is on a ball joint, so it moves around, up and down. That's about as much you're going to get it to turn, but that is just plenty, if you can see that. Also kind of has a little bit of a tilt to it, so you can kind of tilt it side to side. These can go back or forward, whichever one you prefer. I actually do this. As far as the shoulder, it can go in and out. It rotates here. It also bends here at the bicep. He does have 180 degrees in his elbow. His hands do rotate here. His thumb is on an independent ball joint. His index finger has 2 joints, and the back 3 have 2 joints. The only problem that I had with this guy, and it's something that's very simple, so it was just someone screwed up in the factory, but they were actually on, backwards. So whenever I tried to bend at that joint, it actually kind of popped off, and then I realized that, someone had made a mistake. So not that big of a deal. Easy fix. Took like 2 seconds. Then as far as his waist, there's really nothing there. Never is with the Seekers. The legs, they can kind of go in and out, but you can see that they're a little bit deterred there, I guess. That's about as far as you can get with them. They can go forward. They can go back quite a bit. They bend 90 degrees here in the knee. He also rotates here at the thigh. The feet, I don't know if you want to call that anything, but yeah, there you go. Plug that back in. Also the wings, you can do kind of those bend back like this or a little bit more forward. You can come down with them, or I like to kind of spread them out a little bit. I guess I just haven't tapped that in very well. But there Sunstorm is, as far as his articulation. As far as his paint, his overall look, whenever you set him on your shelf, I think you'll be pleased. I like to display the little missiles here. We'll show you that on Acid Storm as well. There's some nice paint details. With the gold here on the... No, I'm just going to call him Norray or his guns or whatever. There's some, nice gold paint there to kind of break that up. If it was just yellow, then it wouldn't look that good, in my opinion. There's some nice gold throughout here with some red on that. You got some nice gold, some white, red, the same thing down here. This is just tamper graphed on. Also, a little bit of, just little bitty subtle things, I think, help the figure overall, because the white, it's broken up. White, white, white. So it's kind of all over the place. The red, it's broken up all over the place. If it was just heavy in the legs and nothing at the top, then it would look weird. But because they kind of broke all these little accent colors up all over the figure, it really brings everything out a lot more. Also, I like the wings, how you can still see the nice flames on the wings. I think that looks really good. Also, whenever you take a look here at the back, you'll also see the flames on the back of his legs, which I think look really cool. But there Sunstorm is. I kind of got a little 360. Cool figure. I actually still prefer Acid Storm. Sunstorm, Acid Storm. God, that's a lot of storms. But Yeah, I still prefer this guy. If I was having to decide between these two. Now, if I'm just deciding between a Hasbro MP-11, I'm going to go Thundercracker all day just because it's Thundercracker. But these two guys still look pretty awesome on your shelf. It's definitely something that, you know, if you have a friend come over and he's not normally a Transformer fan, you know, they kind of gravitate towards it just because it's a little odd, it's a little different. It's not really novelty, but it's not your everyday Transformer to where they're going to know exactly who these guys are. So there's a little comparison with those two, and in robot mode, I mean, this looks really good. One more comparison that I'll do for you guys. Here they are with one that I hope gets made pretty soon. There's only 2 left. It'd be really nice if we get the Skywarp first. Takara or Hasbro, doesn't matter to me. Just give me Skywarp, and then you can give us the other one, what's his name? Ice Storm or something. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. I will be putting up probably some Turtle, the classic movie Turtles, getting into the animated. I got some G1 stuff still, so a ton to get through. But I wanted to get this out to you as soon as possible. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Check out the website, www.cybercastnetwork.com, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.